Hi, I'm Max Pardo-Rokes, part of the delivery team for the Productive General Practice Quick Start programme. I'm talking to you at the moment about Clear Job Standards. So Clear Job Standards is a module where we're looking at how we can visualise the work that the practice does on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. This isn't an instance where we're looking to monitor everything a practice does. What we are trying to do is make sure that we capture the things that a practice considers to be business critical, and we're actually able to ensure that those things happen when they need to. So the way that we do this is we use visual management systems. Commonly, this is a T-card system. So a T-card system, if you haven't seen one before, you may have actually seen one in a garage. And commonly they're used when mechanics are carrying out MOTs. And a T-card system is a physical system on a wall filled with cards. When you take your car in for an MOT, those cards are all red. But as the mechanic goes through each check on your vehicle, he's turning those cards over to green. And what that means is that the manager of the garage can look at any time, see status at a glance to understand where that person is with their work, but also it's a good check to ensure that those things have actually taken place. So you can say there's a piece of quality assurance that this has happened. Now, when we're talking about business critical things in the practice, sometimes that can be really important. We use this as a physical system so that actually everybody can see in the practice exactly what has and hasn't happened. That's not designed so that we're making sure that people are feeling self-conscious about their work, but it is designed so that if something doesn't happen, somebody else is able to pick it up and actually say, we might need to get this done today. To ensure that that happens, those cards are also there to be used to write some standard work on. And the way that we do that is, it's a simple card. We decide exactly how that procedure needs to be carried out, and we write it on the card so that if a person is away, sick, on absence, then that action can still take place. We also look at a couple of other things in this module. One of the key ones is about skill mix. So sometimes things might not be happening in your practice, and actually it's not because people don't want to do them. It may purely be because the skills don't exist on that day inside your practice. So we do a little work around skill mix. So this is a module that tends to start in the reception areas, and in reception areas what we tend to find is that staff really actually enjoy this module because when we start, you'll be talking about half a dozen, maybe a dozen different T-cards on the rack. But as we come back the following week, we commonly see that the number of T-cards that are set up has really increased. And what that shows us is that as people are going through their day-to-day jobs, they're recognising those things that they consider to be business critical, and they're popping them back on the board, which is really good to see. People are telling us that this module is great for actually seeing all the things that happen, and it means that the teams can start to understand all those different things that need to go on, and sometimes there's not great visibility across different teams in a practice about the work they're actually doing. Although this module often starts in reception areas, it does commonly roll out into other areas such as nursing teams as well. One of the areas we look at in reception areas might be, how do you open up in the morning, how does the practice start? And then in nursing teams, sometimes we look at things like making sure that the fridges are checked and the other kind of key things that need to take place over the course of the day. Clear Job Standards is a module that links very well with the high impact actions number 5, which is productive workflows. So the key steps of this module are going to be starting to identify the team, and that's your prep. And then when we get into the actual doing of the module, it's going to be about understanding the jobs that are creating that visual management system. And as I've already mentioned, sometimes that doesn't necessarily take place over one session, sometimes that can take place over several. And then understanding and who can do what and creating that skills matrix. And then finally, maintaining that visual management system and reviewing it on a regular basis so that it maintains its value for you in the practice.